Hello everyone and welcome to Veteran Gaming. I am Aaron and today we're going to talk about Elden Ring. Now it's been well documented that Elden Ring is a very difficult game, but it's also been shown to be one of the most expansive and best open world games ever created. So I've come up with a video series I call the Power Hour that's going to show you how in just 1 hour you can make your character much stronger, getting gear, levels, and skills needed to make the game much more fun and enjoyable. This video will focus on the Confessor character, which leads to a Paladin or Holy Warrior play style. If that's what you enjoy, then this is the video for you. So, if you guys enjoy the content, make sure you click subscribe, click the like button, and if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, make sure you put them in the comment sections below. Thanks for tuning in and good luck.
Alright guys, so as you can see, I'm making this video with a brand new character, so you can see that this guide works exactly as I'm describing it. So the first thing we need to do is go ahead and create our character. We're going to go ahead and make sure we pick the Confessor class, put in our name, go ahead and select the Golden Seed as your keepsake. It's pretty much universally considered the best option going forward. Some of the other keepsakes aren't bad, but getting an extra flask immediately is just so great, it's hard to really consider the other options at the beginning. So once we have our character created, we'll get started. So the game begins, and we're going to follow this path, and it's going to lead us into a boss that's going to ambush us. Even expert gamers familiar with FromSoft titles really struggle with this boss. You're not really expected to kill the boss, so when he takes you out, don't be surprised. He's basically supposed to. So this is going to queue up another cutscene, and it's going to lead us into a cave where we begin. If you're brand new to this game, to FromSoft titles, I highly recommend you jump down to the right, this little cliff, and that's actually where the beginning tutorial starts, and that'll show you how the mechanics work, what buttons do what, how to target, and so on. If this isn't your first character, you've already done your homework on the game mechanics, then just go ahead, go move up, and move on out. So as you move up and out, you're going to stop and grab the first stranded graveyard waypoint on your way. We'll definitely be coming back to this later when we have the stone sword keys that are required to open this particular dungeon, but we're not going to go into there right now. So we're going to go ahead and go up, and you're going to be taken outside by a lift. And once you exit that particular area, you're going to have a great view of the world that they've created for you here at the beginning of the game. And we're just going to continue forward until we grab the waypoint, and then we can go ahead and speak to the NPC, Var, or Vari, I'm not sure how you say it, quickly, and he's going to give you a little quest line that you're going to start later, so go ahead and make sure you exhaust all of his dialogue options until he starts repeating himself. Alright, so then we're going to go ahead and continue north, avoiding the giant knight on horseback, since it's going to be a long time before we have the build to knock him off that high horse of his. So we're going to go ahead and avoid the knight and make it to the church. I'm going to go ahead and grab the waypoint. We're going to grab the smithing stone off the anvil, and we can say hi to the merchant Calais quickly if you want to. Then we're going to go ahead and continue moving north, and we're going to head towards the gatefront waypoint. At the gatefront waypoint, we're going to go ahead and rest so we can queue up the cutscene where we get to speak to our lovely maiden. She's going to go ahead and grant us our faithful steed Torrent and give us the ability to level up by spending runes. After we speak with our maiden, we're going to go ahead and teleport back to the Church of Ella waypoint where we just spoke with Calais. When we get back to the Church of Ella, it should be nighttime. So we're going to observe that there is a witch that wants to speak to us. She's sitting on a little ledge of the church right there, and she's going to give us a gift because we are so awesome. We'll speak to her and collect our summoning bell as well as our wolf spirit ashes. Then she's going to do a nice little disappearing act, so we'll do ours. And we're going to teleport right back to the gate front. Once we get back at the gate front, we're going to head east quickly, and we're going to grab the map for this section by this tall post. That's going to be for Limgrave, and then we're going to duck down this tunnel real quick here. When we get to the bottom, we're going to open the chest inside to get the whetstone knife. This knife is vital since it's going to allow us to change Ashes of War on weapons, which we're definitely going to need in the future. After we've collected the whetstone knife, we're going to exit the tunnel, mount up, and head east again to another waypoint just on the other side of the army camp. After we've collected that waypoint, we're going to continue southeast to pick up the somber smithing stone from the dead guy on the chair. Say thank you to the nice deceased man. And then we're going to head east and we're going to pick up the gold pickled fowl foot, because who doesn't love more runes? After collecting the fowl foot, we're going to head south again to grab another waypoint in the southern portion of Limgrave quickly before we head on south some more. Now we're going to go ahead and cross the bridge. We're going to stop to collect the items on the bridge, of course, which includes a stone sword key. And then we're going to continue off the bridge, grabbing the waypoint on the south end. From here, we're going to go ahead and continue south again to the site of a very recent epic battle, it looks like. There are just enemies and items strewn all throughout this area. The most important thing we want to grab here is the Morning Star out of the chest in the broken down carriage. There's also a smithing stone to grab if you can, but try not to get eaten by the dogs or cut down by the monsters as you run through. You can also attempt to kill the scarab here on the ramp for the mighty shot Ash of War for bows. And then once you get through there, you're going to go ahead and continue south a little bit farther to grab this last waypoint near the merchant in the Weeping Peninsula. We're going to leave the Weeping Peninsula now and teleport all the way back to the Gatefront waypoint and start our journey north. We're going to mount Torrent, and we're going to dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge our way through the gauntlet here until we reach the baby glowing tree with a golden seed to the north. We're going to collect the golden seed and continue north to reach the Stormhill Shack waypoint. At the Stormhill Shack, we're going to grab the waypoint and speak with Roderica. Roderica is going to tell us about how she is such a coward and is scared of everything. But we got to keep talking to her, and as we continue to talk with her, she's going to ask you to take care of her jellyfish summons, which you're going to happily accept. Once you finish Roderica's monologue about being scared, we're going to continue off again to the north. So we're following this path to the north, which is going to lead us around the east side of Stormhill Castle here. There's a quick scarab to kill along this path if you want for an Ash of War. But for the most part, you're just going to continue north a little bit to the east. You're going to dodge a bunch of wolves, grab some flowers and plants if you want to. And eventually you're going to come out to a ridge overlooking the Liurny of the Lakes, and you're going to grab another waypoint. Quickly go ahead and run down to the church not far from there and grab a sacred tear before continuing south. You're going to run through the camp of army men, come down to the lakes, and grab another waypoint by the merchant. After collecting the waypoint, we're going to go ahead and turn hard to the east and go ahead and continue up a crest. Once we get to the top, we're going to see a road that heads south, and that's the way we want to head. Continue south to the end of this road, and you're going to avoid a giant troll who shouldn't really trouble you that much. And you're going to see a carriage, and we're going to open up a chest inside the carriage. And inside this carriage chest, there's going to be the tree spear. The tree spear is an outstanding weapon that you can use for a very, very long time. You can complete the game using this weapon. It's so good. It's one of the few weapons in the game that has standard physical as well as magic damage included that will still allow you to buff it using spells or greases. Also, since it's a spear, it can attack while blocking, which is a huge benefit. The attack while blocking deals less damage than a standard attack, but you can't ignore the benefit of attacking while mitigating damage at the same time. And even though we can't equip it yet, we're on our way right now to fix that problem. So after we collect the tree spear, we're going to go ahead and teleport back to the Stormhill Shack. From the shack, we're going to head southeast. We're going to stop by this nice little graveyard here and pick up a bunch of golden runes. And then once we've collected all our runes, we're going to continue southeast a little bit, and we're going to get to a field of trolls. And in the middle of this field of trolls, there's going to be a statue with a glowing light in the middle of it. And those are smithing stones. So what we want to do is go ahead and anger one of the local trolls. And after we've made him upset, we're going to go ahead and have him chase us towards the statue. And then he's going to attack the statue, bust it open, We're going to slide over, grab the stones, and then get out of there before the trolls smurf us. So we're going to head north, and we're going to speak to Knight Bernal, an Ashes of War merchant, right here next to his waypoint. So we're going to go ahead and speak to Bernal, get the waypoint, before we head eastbound again. As we follow the road to the east, we're soon going to run into a small army camp. We're going to go ahead and dismount from our horse here. We're going to creep around to the north side of the camp. There is one enemy patrolling that we'll want to eliminate as quietly as possible. And then we're going to go ahead and continue to creep around this ruin until we see a chest and a soldier next to the chest. A quick backstab will take care of the soldier, or take him out however you need to. And that's going to buy us enough time to open the chest and collect the Beast Crest shield, which is inside. This is a really nice shield that gives us 100 physical negation without being insanely heavy. So this shield is going to allow us to block all incoming damage from normal attacks and even attack at the same time when we equip the tree spear. So we're going to go ahead and collect this shield, mount back up, and then leave the camp continuing east. As we continue east, we're going to grab a quick waypoint, and then grab a smithing stone near the pumpkin head on the bridge. We're going to keep going east until we get to the waypoint to the west of Summonwater Village. This is a very important waypoint. We're going to be using it several times later on in the hour. So make sure you grab that, and then we're going to keep going east. We want to ride east all the way through the village. Ignore the little mini boss for now. And we're going to head over the fiery wall into Caelid and grab the waypoint. Make sure you stay to the south of that church because there is an invasion and it is very difficult at this level. So stay away from the church, get over the fiery wall, get into Caelid. Alright, now we are in Caelid, which is a zone way above our current level. It's really important to remember that everything in Caelid wants to kill you and is very good at it. So we're going to mount up and we're going to head east to grab a couple more waypoints on our way, making sure we avoid enemies. We're going to make sure we stop and grab the map piece in Grail's Dragon Barrow near the dragons in the pond. And then we're going to go ahead and continue east, dodging giant dogs, small dragons, big dragons, pretty much everything, until you find the giant sleepy dragon, Grail, who's just laying there on the ground. So we're going to run around behind him to find the waypoint at Fort Theroth. And we're going to come back for a good old Grail in a moment. But for right now, let's head north and east quickly to get another waypoint, some runes, and the memory stone. Theroth, we're running north. We're going to run down around the Erd Tree, avoiding the giant guardian. Then we're going to go ahead and continue north. We're going to find another graveyard. No enemies here. Some really nice golden runes. Make sure you grab those. After we pick up the runes, we're going to continue down next to the tower and the waypoint. This is the waypoint for doing the boulder dodging trick, little rune earning trick, which I can show you really quick. You're going to go ahead and just run down this path, dodge the boulder, watch the boulder go over the ledge. You should wait for a second and see 1900, 2000 runes, something like that pop up. If you go back to that waypoint, rest, then come back out, you can go back and do that same boulder trick again. You can do it as many times as you want, just resetting it every time. It's going to give you that 1900 or 2000 runes every single time. So it's a real quick and easy way to gain runes and levels in case you want to grind a little bit, or in case you want to top off on runes to level quickly before entering a very difficult dungeon or boss encounter so you don't lose runes. If you just need to grab some real quick to buy a stone sword key or some arrows from a merchant, this is a pretty quick, efficient, easy way to grab a couple of runes every time. Stone, we're going to take the jumpy, windy thing. I'm going to jump it up onto the roof of the tower here, as you can see me do on the screen. At this point, I recommend dismounting from Torrent, that way you don't fall nearly as far. But you're going to slide down the roof onto the balcony you see here. Then it's as simple as running up to the top of the tower, opening the chest, and you get a memory stone for your efforts. So after we get the memory stone, we're going to go ahead and travel to Fort Theroth waypoint that we grabbed earlier, and now we're going to go tackle Grail. Alright, now that we've arrived behind Grail, we want to equip our Morning Star, which the important thing here about Morning Star is the fact that it has bleed buildup. This is what's going to allow us to take Grail out and earn a ton of runes. Also, now's a good time to go ahead and bind your golden fowl foot to one of your pouch slots for quick and easy access. So what we're going to do, we're going to run up to Grail's tail, where no other little dragons are going to come and attack us, and we're just going to whack him until he dies. Again, it's important to have the Morning Star, or really any other weapon that does bleed buildup, because it's going to take chunks of damage at like 13,000 apiece once that bleed buildup procs. Without that bleed buildup proc, you're just going to wail away on this dude for forever. So, you're going to wail away on him, get those bleed procs, do tons of damage. When you get him fairly low in health, go ahead and use your golden fowl foot, because you're going to get 80,000 or so runes for him normally. So with the golden fowl foot, you're going to get close to 100,000 runes, which is really going to give you the chance to level up quite a bit for this early in the game and all the effort you put in so far. Once Grail is dead, you can use your runes, and also the golden runes you've collected if you feel like it, to go ahead and level your character up. The most important thing we want to do is make sure we gain the stats necessary to use the tree spear. So we're going to need at least 15 strength, 22 dexterity, and 18 faith. And the good news is that the damage for a tree spear scales with strength, dexterity, and faith. So bumping up those numbers doesn't hurt us at all. The other points should probably go into vigor and endurance to increase your health and your carry weight, since the tree spear is very heavy and you could put us into a fat rolling instead of a medium roll situation, which is not good. Our maiden is also possibly going to teleport us to Round Table Hold if you haven't done that already by resting at a separate waypoint, but we don't really need to do anything here yet, so feel free to teleport out once you've been there. So again, guys, getting the levels, you can kind of do whatever you want, personal preference. I highly recommend making sure that you have enough for the tree spear, obviously. Other than that, you can throw points into vigor to increase your health pool. You can throw into endurance to increase your stamina, help you carry a little bit better armor. But all that is personal preference. You pick what you think is going to help your personal play style. If you didn't teleport out of Round Table Hold right away for the next phase, you can also run over to the smith. Upgrade your tree spear. Help you do a little bit more damage for the next couple of phases. You can do it now, you can do it later, it doesn't matter. But I personally did it right now since I was already here. For our equip load, we're going to go ahead and teleport back to the Stranded Graveyard waypoint in Limgrave here. And that's where we're going to get our talisman. Once you're at the Stranded Graveyard, go ahead and unlock the dungeon using the stone sword keys we've collected. Unlock the dungeon, jump down, and begin running until you come to the ramp with the giant chariot o' doom. This thing is incredibly annoying, but once you figure out the timing, it isn't that bad. As soon as it makes a turn at the top of the ramp, you're going to run down, stay to the right side. When you get to the second alcove, run inside it real quick while the chariot passes, you heading back up. As soon as the chariot passes you, heading back up, run down again and enter the next alcove on the right. Go ahead and ignore the bad guy, immediately fall down to the next ramp. Continue running down the ramp until it narrows with emptiness on the outer edges. Go to the left side and fall down as easily and slowly as possible before the chariot runs you over. When you fall, there's going to be a ledge there, and there's going to be 2 imp enemies that you should be able to take care of pretty easily using your shield to block while you attack with the tree spear. Once you've downed the imps, you can head to the bottom of the stairs, but be careful because there is a fire trap. So we're going to time the fire, and we're going to duck into the alcove on the right to take out the imp that's hiding there. Once we take out the imp, we're going to time the fire again to run down to the trap. Just go ahead and hit the trap anywhere, and that's going to knock it down and deactivate the trap. At this point, we can jump into the small room on the left where we're going to take out 2 more imps to grab a little bit of lightning grease that's hiding in here. After we get our lightning grease, we're going to go ahead and run down the stairs, down the path, and we're going to grab the Erd Tree Talisman real quick as the 2 mini bosses drop down.
And we're not going to give them the satisfaction of killing us today, so we're just going to go ahead and jump off the ledge, because all we needed was the talisman, and it's going to bring us right back to the front of the level, right where we want to be. So we're going to go back to the Summonwater Village waypoint one last time, and this time it's to take out the Tibia Mariner boss. Tibia Mariner boss is very easy. You can fight him several different ways, especially if you use your summons. Very easy boss. You can basically ignore all the ads, summons, and just take him out. And he's going to go ahead and drop the Skeletal Soldier Ashes, which is an awesome summoning ash right at the beginning of the game. The best part about these guys is you summon them. If they get knocked down or killed by the boss, they'll lay on the ground and wait a short amount of time before they resurrect and come back, just like a lot of the skeletal enemies you fight in the catacombs. So unless the boss happens to hit him with an AoE of some kind on accident, the boss will kill them, ignore them, they'll come back up. So it's a constant distraction summons that's really going to buy you time and distract the boss. So this is a great early game summons that I highly recommend using. From here we're going to head south and a little to the east to the stepping stones on the side of the cliff. Go ahead and head down to the east and collect the golden runes at the graveyard. We then want to continue south and east using the windy jump points to get down to the waypoint near the Church of America. Also going to go ahead and grab the flask and sacred tear inside the church before we collect the waypoint. After collecting the waypoint, you want to follow the little lake and river just north of the church until you find a giant rune bear fighting a ton of wolves. Ignore all the enemies, let them duke it out. Go ahead and grab the smithing stones and run right back out. Once you're clear again, you can go ahead and teleport right back to the Summonwater waypoint. Now that we're back at the Summonwater waypoint, we're going to go ahead and go back down the steps right near the other steps, but we're going to take them the other way. We're going to again find another graveyard filled with golden runes. Once you've grabbed the runes, go ahead and talk to Kenneth at the top of the ruined building over the road so you can start his mini quest later. Then continue south until you find the map in Mistwood. Then head towards the Erd tree to collect tier pieces from the tree there for the Wondrous Flask. Then go ahead and continue south to find a wandering merchant for smithing stones if you want to purchase those. And then a little farther south for another waypoint. If you haven't upgraded your tree spear yet, now is a great time. Let's go ahead and teleport back to the Church of Ella and head northwest until you find the Stormfoot Catacombs. We're just going to simply run into these catacombs, avoid the enemies, and quickly grab a Grave Glove Root, which is going to help us upgrade the summons we just got from the Tibia Mariner. You can, once you grab it, just go ahead and leave the catacombs and come back later if you want, or you can go ahead and take out the rest of the catacombs right now. I leave it up to you. We're going to mount up and head west a little bit too. We're going to avoid enemies until we get to the coast here. And we're going to skirt the coast until we find the Wandering Merchant to the south. And here is where we're going to buy a bow and some arrows. Bows are really great for helping to pull out single enemies at a time. They also help defuse traps, which is definitely going to help out in the next step of our journey. So considering the price of the bow, maybe about 50 arrows, whatever you feel comfortable with, it's huge for the build and for the versatility of your character. So this is a very important stop on our trip. So we got our bow and our arrows. Now, as we round out our hour, it's a good time to go back to the round table hold, upgrade weapons, upgrade summon ashes. To upgrade our summons, we're going to head to the round table hold, and we're going to find Roderica again, the same lady that was just terrified but gave you a lovely little jellyfish. Now she's going to talk to you, and it's all about not knowing her place in this world. So we're going to help her out. We're going to go and run and talk to the blacksmith. And as fate would have it, the blacksmith knows she should be a spirit tuner. Convenient. After speaking to the blacksmith, it's back to Roderica. After Roderica, it's back to the blacksmith. At this point, all interactions should be spent with them, so you can just go talk or go to the round table itself to pass time. After you pass time, Roderica should be near the blacksmith now and ready to upgrade your skeleton ashes for you. Anything that you haven't upgraded, let's go ahead and upgrade it now because like I said, this is about the end of the hour.
So our next step that we're going to do is go ahead and take out the first story boss. Just as a quick recap here, not everything will be exactly as mine looks right now, but it should be pretty close. So we should have our upgraded tree spear here. Mine's currently 4. Hopefully yours is at least 2, 3, maybe 4 as well. Beast Crest heater shield. Mine is upgraded to +2. You don't have to necessarily. The important thing here is our shield with the 100% physical damage negation. We have our Erd Tree's Favor, our talisman that raises maximum HP, stamina, and equip load. And in our flasks, we should have 6, and they should be upgraded to +2. Plus we have our Flask of Wondrous Physics. And as a quick character summary, my character is currently level 36. There's all my attribute points, base stats, showing my attack power, spells, all that kind of stuff. So at this point, we are more than ready to take on the first story boss. Video editing, here we are at the waypoint right outside the boss encounter. And I'm not going to talk through it. I'm just going to let the video play and you can see what the Confessor can do after just the power hour.
And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click like. That way I have the opportunity to make more content for everyone.